svarte fjäll jag vandrar alene över isberget tar jag mig fram i äpplehagen står mojen den vene och synger när kommer du hem.
Hello, and welcome to What the Fiction. This is our deep dive show for Loki called High Tea Low Key. And we will be covering episode 3, Lamentis. I'm Marie Claire Gould. Lamentis, well, the episode was just called Lamentis, but the planet
Wasn't
was...
it? No, it was called Lamentis 1.
Okay. I'm pretty sure it was just called Lamentis.
But my notes, they say otherwise.
Oh no. You're probably right.
I'm always right about these things.
I'm Marie Claire Gould, your host, and with me is...
I am Robin, as
Yes.
always, because, you'll remember me. You won't remember that one.
And
That
I
one.
am Dark MC variant because the moon was dark and purple and my hair was already purple. And so I just went with it further. And what kind of variant are you today?
I don't know.
Oh, you forgot. You forgot. I see.
Well, I mean, I shifted my glasses, so...
Oh, yes. You're wearing different glasses.
I'm wearing the incorrect glasses.
your new glasses, Robin.
I wore the incorrect glasses today, and it caused a world-ending event, and that's why I'm a variant.
Yeah, you wore the different glasses, and so you split off from the regular flow of time. You're the one that people are always like, are you wearing new glasses? Or you look so different. Yeah. Let's start out with our tea of the day. Oh my goodness.
No,
I pressed a button. Okay. We have created a tea called...
So today we're going to be having reality tea, which is like blue transcendent, white blueberry, coconut, lemon balm, with actual dried blueberries. Very cool.
Oh no, I put.
Thank you to Fangirling Only for mixing and doing stuff. So
yeah,
and 5% as always goes to International.
Reality.
And it is called reality.
Reality. Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a realtor joke.
Yeah. Reality. So with that, I have paired it with some shortbread cookies with chocolate on top.
At my request.
At your request, yes. You wanted something you could dip in the tea.
Hold on. Sugar time.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I need my kick.
Oh my goodness. The link is in the liner notes if you're interested in ordering any of the teas that we came up with for...
You gave me a lot of tea.
I did. Yes. And we've got our specialty cups.
Yeah,
and
mine...
I
hate you cup.
Yes, you've got the I hate you cup, and I felt like that was very Sylvie inspired.
Yeah.
And mine says kindly F off because I thought that would be very Loki inspired. So
first Loki stream I could. Welcome.
How
does it taste, Mom?
It's very nice. It's smooth.
I don't know how tea cannot be smooth, but
it could be sharp or spicy.
It's hot.
All right. Oh no, you're gonna have to wait a minute. I did just make it, so it is.
This is why I do it beforehand.
Oh.
See, I'm the one who makes the teas usually, and I usually make it a couple of minutes beforehand because whenever you make me tea to go to school, it's always too hot to drink in the morning, so I end up drinking it on my way at home because you get upset whenever I don't drink it.
Yep.
Marie Claire diss track coming your way soon.
We'll just drink our tea, and that's and we'll go into Lamentis or Lamentis 1. Either way, Lamentis. So do you know what a lament is?
I think I'm familiar with the word.
Okay. The tea is exceptionally hot this episode. It's true.
This episode was weird, okay?
Like, overall, how did you feel?
I was like, this episode, it didn't feel like last episode, because last episode felt like a bunch of short scenes that were all important but short.
Mm-hmm.
This episode felt like it was one continual stream of content, like the sacred timeline.
Yeah, it certainly did. It was awesome, I think. Michael Waldron, who's the head writer for the show, said this was purposefully the most romantic episode of the season, which is interesting given
Sus.
the characters involved. Huh. Drinks tea. That's interesting. So a lament is like a display of grief. And often it involves dance or song or poetry. And so let's like dig into this episode because
self-love.
Why would this be a lament? Ah, interesting.
The name is quite odd.
Yeah. So, like, overall highlights of this episode, it was the shortest of all the episodes so far. We have Bisha Ali, who's the head writer for Miss Marvel. She wrote this episode, and she's going to be the head writer for the show that is coming out in the fall for Marvel called Miss Marvel. I think you're going to really love it as well.
I'm probably going to like it a lot, yeah.
The music continues to slap. It's awesome. Especially that intro song, Demons, and the credits song, Dark Moon.
I was sitting at my computer and I was like, this is actually a really good song. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me just dance break.
Deliberate choices are deliberate. I have so much to say about the choices that are made in this episode. It's fascinating. The themes, confrontation with the femme aspects of self. What makes a Loki a Loki? It's even asked inside of the episode itself. All kinds of love of all kinds, parental, romantic, love of self. What are you willing to admit to yourself if it's the end of the world? That's what I took away. Anything...
Yeah.
And I'm missing?
No, I don't think so. I mean, there was definitely some fodder for my TVA sus or not sus argument that I've been making every episode.
Oh no, they're terrible.
Oh, they're awful.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going to go back.
I mean,
big.
There's potential redeeming qualities.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll see. Maybe the timekeepers are bad, but the people within the TVA need to be freed. You know, I've got demons in my head. So appropriate for that scene. What was happening because...
It also just radiates such Sylvie energy. Like,
yeah.
If I was to make a Spotify playlist, it's on there.
It's really funny because a good friend of mine actually had a Loki-inspired Spotify playlist, and that was on there. Yeah, it was brilliant. And then, of course, Dark Moon, which played at the end, which is... fascinating. It's about kind of a broken love affair. Very, very, very cool. And Deep Blue as well, which was also
actually really good. Now
also super cool.
Slightly cooler.
Oh yeah, no, it's super good. I bought 2 boxes of it because I was really excited about this tea.
It really reminds me of like snow.
Oh.
Not that it tastes like snow, but it reminds me of like cool, maybe like frosted blueberry tarts.
Like a Loki in his frost giant form?
Yeah, a little bit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So we start out and we're with Sylvie, who we find out the name of later. And she's with C20, who's one of the hunters, and we're in this bar or place.
It looks like a restaurant with an add-on bar.
with margaritas. And
Cold margarita.
you know, they're like, let's chill, tee-hee-hee. Then tell me all the secrets of the TVA. It was
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it was very jarring.
You can trust me. We've been best friends forever. Like,
and
so how many people are guarding the timekeepers?
yeah.
How many people are how many people are guarding the timekeepers?
Yeah, exactly. It was very intense, and it showed how the sort of fantasies take place and how realistic they are, which is
also, we all know, like,
so interesting.
okay. Sylvie is bad cop, Loki is good cop.
Yes. Yes.
I live for that.
I did want to point out Sylvie had a ring on. It looked like a Claddagh ring, which I'm sure I'm pronouncing wrong, but it's an Irish ring that used to represent like love and things like that. It looked like that to me. If somebody else can tell me if it isn't, that's fine. Feel free.
Did I hallucinate the mailman conversation?
You did not.
Okay.
No, you did not.
I was worried that I did.
No. And then also she was wearing a scrunchie, which kind of gives you a timeline of where things all, except that you wear scrunchies around your wrist every freaking day. So, yeah, I don't know.
I just, like, I keep it screams like 2018 to me. I've worn these scrunchies for like 3 years, so.
Yeah. I don't know that it was 2018. It's hard to tell.
It kind of feels like 2018.
It could be 2018. But later on we find out that it's been hundreds of years.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is the first indication in this episode. The ring specifically is the first indication of love, quote unquote. And we're going to get into all of the other things. I love this moment. Sylvie comes through the door, grabs out a hair tie, ties back her hair, and then goes and kicks ass.
It's what we all desire to do with our
life. What? That's brilliant.
You gotta just put away your baggage for a minute. All right, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. And to me, it's like, okay, yes, men with long hair will think to tie back their hair before they go and kick ass, but it is quite like a feminine thing to have done. Long hair, need to make sure it's tied back before you go and kick ass. I loved it. A lot of just like Loki in general just has like long. Yeah, we haven't seen Loki tie back his hair yet. We should. The enchantment kind of fizzes out, which kind of shows me like the use of the enchantment sort of starts to try to work and then doesn't, which kind of tells me that maybe there's something just kind of blocking it. That seems to be the effect that they were going for, which is kind of interesting itself. And then, of course, Sylvie's on a mission and has no problem with pruning anybody in the TVA, which was cool. Loki arrives. He immediately goes for the daggers.
Daggers.
Yes. Did you like that moment?
I like his daggers in general.
They're really awesome.
They're cool, okay? Like,
yeah.
I would like get those and then like hang them on a wall somewhere. I'm good. I don't need more tea.
It's for me.
I know. I'm just like, it's hot.
It is very warm, yes. I really love this episode. The pacing, the interactions. There's lots of really cool things going on. And even just these moments where he's like, I'm looking back and I know where the daggers are, which was, laid the groundwork for in the second episode. Yeah, it's still there. Great.
Nothing really moves in the TVA.
And this is the start of the fight with your femme self for the rest of the episode, where they fight in the hallway in front of the golden elevator, which a golden elevator, for some reason, my mind automatically goes to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, even though that's the great glass elevator. I don't know. Where does the elevator go,
I
Robin?
feel like, well, maybe to the timekeepers,
Maybe.
or maybe to one of the million floors.
I bet you the elevator goes to nowhere.
The planet?
Like no, like nowhere.
The planet?
No.
Guardians of the Galaxy callback.
Yeah, no, it doesn't go anywhere. I think it's.
Because the
I'm happy to be wrong, but
the timekeepers don't exist.
yeah, or they're long
Mm,
gone. Yeah,
The timekeepers are like, maybe the timekeepers are like figureheads that like a board of directors hides behind.
yeah. Great
That-
point, Jesse. Sylvie didn't know that her magic didn't work in the TVA, so that means that she has never been to the TVA.
This took her 10 years and she didn't even think, let's go to the TVA to just double check.
Yeah, so she's never been to the TVA, but she knew all about the TVA. I think that's a really, really important clue to some of the things that are going on. Yeah. And of course, Ravonna Renslayer comes and attacks them, and Loki grabs the tempad, and they escape to this unknown location.
Another close removing your robot in the elevator. That's where the elevator.
That's hilarious. And you have to get naked before you go see the timekeepers. Is that what you're saying? I guess.
Well, you have to reveal your true self to the timekeepers because they know.
Oh yeah.
They already know it, but they need to know that you're ready.
And the tempad is, of course, out of energy because it's been used for a whole lot of stuff.
Also, the timekeepers have a Wattpad and write fan fiction, and therefore they want that fan.
They are basically writing fan fiction. They're choosing the direction of all time.
They're like really popular fan fiction that influences the actual.
And we get Sylvie's reaction to being "Don't ever call me a Loki."
I'm not you.
You had some reactions about like the naming stuff.
Some of the behaviors that she exhibits are like very like, that's my dead name, don't call me that kind of like. It radiates a little bit of like a trans energy, even though but like canonically gender fluid. So.
Yeah, like I've changed my name. I no longer go by that dead name. Do not call me that. There was a lot of that energy.
Like,
yeah.
I'm very this like Loki has just been chock full of just like LGBTQIA plus like representation. Very happy with it.
Yeah. I was surprised because I did not think that they would go this far even, and I'm really happy. So that's cool. I do think that we're getting a little bit more indication of my like Jungian archetypes concept. Just, having Sylvie call him a magician was very, very purposeful and interesting. And
it's like, it's also, it genuinely feels like she just couldn't find a better insult.
Yeah. I do think that she's coming out to be the outlaw or the rebel. Sometimes it's called the rebel in that. But they never, and like to How Rude's point in the chat, they never explicitly come out and confirm, yes, I am a Loki variant. She just kind of nods and goes along with his assumptions, and he puts a lot of assumptions out there, and she just sort of agrees with him. I have a lot of thoughts about that because of what's happening. But we find out that this is 27C7 on a planet called Lamentis, where the moon is crashing into this colony, it seems. Everything is friggin' purple, which I was in love with, the colors.
Izzy says in the thing that the timekeepers are more like people who only like canon and refuse to look at anything that doesn't.
Oh, you're right!
You're
right!
They're genuinely that like, oh my god.
They're the canon keepers, not just the timekeepers.
They only accept canon. I refuse! How dare you ever mention a ship that is not in canon? Oh, you disgust me.
That crack ship was a variant. Trimmed.
Gone.
Good point. Yeah. Good job, Izzy. Yeah. This moon it's so cool. I just absolutely love the color palette, the style, the design. Like it felt like a very funky, cool sci-fi place. And I just love purple. And so everything was purple.
It was definitely different. I like the skies love.
Mm-hmm.
There.
Everything had a very
Lamentis one is just a variant of your.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk. Let's make this scene big. All right. Why was this moment when she tries to take over him framed as romantic? This looks romantic. It has the light in the background. They make a heart with their heads and their arms.
You're the one who reads K-dramas, so you'd know more about this than me.
No. This was absolutely framed as romantic. So, am I supposed to ship Loki with Loki? Or is Sylvie somebody different pretending to be a Loki variant?
Guys, it's just self-care. I don't know what you're on about.
There's already discussion about how if this is a Loki and a Loki, how problematic it is. And the writers themselves, I know. Okay. So I don't care. It's fiction.
My mother is my inspiration. Does not care.
Does not care. It's fiction. We stand. It's fiction. Whatever you want to do, it's cool. I'm not supposed to ship this. No, you're supposed to ship this because it is framed as romantic. They talk about love. There's lots of other things going on later on in the episode. And then the writer comes out and says, oh, hey, I was writing this just before my wedding. And I was thinking of all of these romantic things to say. And this is by far the most romantic episode.
Not intentional.
Okay.
Not intentional.
Okay.
It's just kind of romantic, guys. It's not my fault.
Yeah, Loki screwed a horse once in mythology, so these things happen, right? Also, he's a god in different roles and all that stuff. It doesn't matter. It's fiction. Okay. Everything from this point could be fake. We have to acknowledge that everything from this point is just in Loki's head because of this moment.
We could assume it, but I choose not to.
You choose to assume it happened, but be wary, buyer beware.
It may not have. But...
Yes. The tempad is the key to moving forward, is hidden in his heart. Oh my goodness.
That
Metaphoric.
Line.
It's metaphor. Yeah. So they need to know the keys to the future, past, and present. That's the key. That's the tempad. It can move through space and time, and it's hidden in his heart because that's the thing. His heart is what is blocking him from moving forward. So cool. So cool. I also agree this could be a self-love thing, but there's lots of things going on. Okay. Because that's not who I am anymore. I'm Sylvie now. All right. You have some thoughts?
I think I already briefly touched on them, but like, there's a lot of like, don't call me that, please. Like, I'm not you, and I'm not that. Like, there's like the separation wall of that's not who I am anymore, and I really like that because if it's not like explicitly said, there's definitely some tone like you don't. Don't.
Yeah, exactly. And, she's very specific about it. Like, and then she calls back to say, well, what even makes a Loki, right? Well, we're going to talk through that a little bit. It's self-assurance and it's independence and all of these things. But Sylvie isn't those things and very, very clearly calls out that she isn't those things.
I came up with a nickname for like the duo between Loki and Sylvie.
Potentially a ship name?
No. Like duo name. Like
okay.
As like a duo in crime and in
like this is their
platonic bro name.
Okay.
Gold duo. Because they got like gold motifs.
Oh, okay.
I like that.
I like it too. It's good.
And you can call Sylvie rose gold, and you can call Loki green gold.
Oh, I like it. They approach the farmstead, which still has lights on, and this is the start of like some of the like confronting of angry feminine. We also got that with Sylvie. Sylvie is like incredibly hostile towards Loki, and if we view that in sort of a lens of Robert Bly and the Little Book on the Human Shadow, that's just Loki's anima, the feminine aspects of himself being projected out there because he hasn't dealt with all of the, wounds from his mother and like never finding, his true self, right? Never being true to the inner self that he has within him, his inner goddess. He's never had that chance and never done that. And so, there's a lot of that. Oh, people are saying their silk name is, or their ship name is Silky, and I love it. Yes. Silky.
Loki is just parentally.
Yeah.
Mom and daddy issues. Also brother issues.
Yeah, no, he just has issues.
He's just got family issues.
Yeah, and it's about, loving others so that, and also like loving yourself first and then being able to love others. It's all about that. But they approach here and, he's like, oh, we can use guile and diplomacy. And then, he attempts to face her with her husband, and she shoots him anyways because the anima aspects of Loki have been ignored for so long that they're angry and aggressive towards him. That's some psychology going on. Anybody who knows me from What the Force knows how much I love triangles, and that gun is like Triangle City, which is also another feminine thing.
Why do you like triangles?
It has.
Yet you don't like the Holy Trinity.
I'm not a Catholic anymore. Okay, so
sorry, I took the opportunity to make a Catholic joke.
So it has to do with the middle path or the way between selfishness and selflessness, and we've talked about this in your personal life.
Ugh.
There is a selfish way of being and there is a selfless way of being, and in the middle between it is the self, and the triangle itself is really, really important as far as a symbol because it's one of the strongest shapes that we have to build and construct with, and it's also the basis for most of our relationships. Most of our relationships end up falling into triangular shaped relationships. I want to just say that this scene also made me cringe for the first time in the entire Loki series. I had to pause and just go, okay, so he's gonna try this thing and it's gonna fail and it's gonna be cringy and it's gonna be socially awkward. Yeah, you can't handle socially awkward situations.
I also can't handle incredible intense build up in anything.
Yeah,
I have to just like put it down and just walk.
Yeah.
So, okay, now I can deal.
But the whole point of this episode was to show that, you can't just pretend to fix problems. You have to actually be truthful in fixing problems.
I also like how this scene and then the next one coming up, they work together.
Yeah.
Are different because they tried to do it individually and then they couldn't do it, and then they did it together and it worked.
Nice. Yeah.
Teamwork makes the dream work, guys.
Little shout out to whoever came up with this prop and making it American Gothic. It was awesome. I loved it. Just, I don't know, prop design. Gotta love it. Did it need to be American Gothic? No. But oddly, American Gothic is a father and daughter, not a husband and wife. So that's interesting.
Well, yeah. I think that there was a little bit of misconceptions as to what the guy was to her.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I think it was her husband who had long passed, but who knows? We will never know.
He wasn't that nice to me in 30 years.
In 30 years, yeah.
He could have died when she was 30.
That's true, yeah. They have different plans and approaches, and Sylvie's like ends in violence all the time, and his doesn't necessarily end in violence. But I loved his little costume change moment. It was so cute. He goes behind her and like magic. Yeah.
Loki's a little bit of a trickster, and I mean,
yeah, it was so cute. They're only giving tickets to the wealthy. Here's a shout out to why having only corporations and the rich colonize other planets, and then you go and colonize. If something bad happens, there isn't like a democratic way to deal with a crisis. It's the people who have sort of paid for the VIP treatment, i.e., you get to be rescued off the planet. And
don't we just
Elon Musk.
That?
Yep. You keep
Sorry,
on.
did that hurt?
Yes. You just keep on smacking me in my injection sites.
It's just an instinct. I go for the platonic shoulder pat rather than the hug.
Oh, it's okay. I love it. Yeah. But they get on the train and Sylvie has a whole problem with Loki's plan not having multiple steps. It was really
plans
funny.
Don't need multiple steps. You know, sometimes plans don't take like 10 years to formulate.
Yeah. But I did love that he can't sit backwards on trains. I'm like, when was the last time you rode a train, Loki? And she cannot sit with her back to a door, which of course we talked about before the stream because you were confused about this, right?
Are you saying that like they don't have trains on Asgard? How dare you?
I mean, it looks like they've got like vehicles, but maybe not a train.
They might have shuttles, or they're like train buses.
What?
Trolleys.
Trolleys? Train buses. Yeah. But no, you had a question about why she says she can't have her back to the door.
No, I understand that one, but why can't you sit backward on a train?
It's because you have like motion sickness usually. You get like nauseous when you sit back on a train. That happens to Daddy. Yeah.
It's dumb though.
No, but like he gets like motion sickness like on like rides and stuff. Yeah.
It's just you like lean back and you're going backwards. It's fine.
Yeah.
Clearly, I don't get that, so I'm the superior variant.
I mean, she doesn't want her back to the door because, you know, that's where the enemies come from, I assume. But then we get into this whole conversation about, you know, his magic and who taught him, and it leads us down to this familial love conversation, like that he really did love Frigga. These things were really important. And what's super interesting...
But we already knew that Loki loved Frigga.
Yeah, no, but what's really interesting is that Sylvie is like genuinely interested and expressing genuineness like you would get on a date or be getting along with somebody that you actually care about, not just an enemy. Why?
Dude, everything that happens in this episode from like the energy that Sylvie is getting off is just so much like there's just like a blockage of tsundere energy.
Oh, okay, interesting. So
I hate you, but I actually like you, so I'm gonna just I hate you still.
Oh, interesting. Why? Why is there tsundere energy?
I don't know. So
like you're pretending to hate the person even though you love them.
I think number one, hatred can be an expression of love.
Yeah, that's brought up. That's brought up like not too much later, right? It's you know, so this is interesting. So they're talking about remembering their mothers and that they were both adopted. But okay, so
Carl Jordan.
Here's my crazy theory. Okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. Sylvie is not Loki. Or never was Loki. Never was a Loki.
Loki, not a Loki.
No. Never a Loki.
Loki, not a Loki.
Yeah, she's Loki, but not a Loki.
It's Loki that she's not a Loki.
Okay, she was never a Loki. I believe that she was around a Loki, potentially in love with a Loki. That's what I'm going
Maybe
with.
that Loki's a mailman.
I hope it was Lady Loki at this point. That would be dope. I really do think that she was in love with a Loki, and that Loki has been pruned. And I have this is my crazy theory. But because she has memories of an experience that a variant would have experienced, because she can pull memories directly from people's minds, and she describes it as almost like a blip in a dream. And it's such a specific way to put the memories that she has that it almost feels like those were taken from somebody else, or that she had experienced those from somebody else. And so this is where I think she is actually Sylvie Enchantress, but she is using the memories that she has gotten from a Loki to work on her plan.
So my thought process is that because it's been clear that over the past 10 years she's been doing so much time travel. That her perception of time is just so messed up, and her past feels so far away now because of all of this like stuff that she's been doing. Because the more you time travel and the more you experience things, like the further and further away that like your past is.
Yeah.
And the things that you experienced while you were still like grounded in one place and in one world.
I have more to back up my theory. But I also think it could be likely that she's still a Loki, right? They haven't really gone both ways. So then that's why this is just speculation and a theory. Want more tea?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, we're really burning through this. Reality tea, folks. Delicious.
I just want
a reality, if you will.
Guys, we need to stop with the realtor jokes.
So then he shows, okay, so there's so many moments in this episode that are like, is this a date? Do they love each other? What is going on? Sus! He's like, fireworks! And she's genuinely like,
her reaction is literally like, I hate you, but you're also so cute right now. You are so cute right now, but I hate you so much.
Yeah. Yeah, I really do think that she was in love with a Loki and keeps on trying to see the aspects of the Loki that she loved inside of the Loki that is in front of her.
The Loki she was into was a mailman. I swear to you, I thought I hallucinated that mailman conversation, because when I rewatched it, I didn't see it.
Yeah. It does come up. I didn't grab a screenshot of it, but that did come up. She said postman, so you're okay. But like, pity about the old woman. It's like she was in love. She hated him. Love and hate, just like you were talking about how close they are, right? Maybe love is hate, and a would-be process perhaps, or and so she's kind of trying to pull out like, hey, are you single? in the weirdest possible way.
As of right now in the timeline, yes.
And to me, like, this triggered, like, okay, maybe she was in love with Lady Loki. Like, maybe there was a Lady Loki out there. And, like, this whole flirting date thing is so date-like. It's crazy.
Well, you're the only one who's been on an actual date, so.
Oh, of you and...
Yes.
Okay, is that what you're saying? Maybe love is mischief. And she keeps on poking at him. And
like the whole conversation between them about what love is so interesting. And I have a little bit of a bit on it.
Okay. No, when we get to the dagger part, yeah. Just a shout out to I don't know how this came into being, but making Loki look like Shakespeare, like just I love this team so much. He looks like Shakespeare. So like the guard outfit has these like raised shoulders, and it's like they designed this moment,
guys,
and
it's
then
80s inspired,
and then designed the like the guard outfits like what is this show? So cool. I loved it. And so he's writing love is hate, which was just so adorable and wonderful.
I mean, the love is hate thing definitely does reflect Sylvie in everything that she's been doing and saying, because she just says, because her actions and her words say, I hate you, but then they're like the moments where she's just like,
yeah.
Oh, stop being so goddamn cute.
Well, like definitely trying to see, to me, it feels like she's trying to see the aspects that she is in love with. And it's just so cool.
Hopelessly in love with someone, and then you're trying to find a replacement for that person because they're not there in your life anymore.
But then duplicates exist somewhere else in the timeline.
All
right, hair watch.
All right,
hair
ladies
watch.
and gentlemen, it's hair watch time.
Hair watch. So
it's hair watch.
We've been rating Loki's hair. Also, I've noticed, and maybe it's just how he's been styling it, but it has been growing because it looks so short in the first episode when he immediately leaves.
It's filming difference timing.
I know, but I think that there's something going on with his hair. So let's talk about how good his hair is.
Since I am the leader of Hair Watch Time, it's my time.
Yep.
To review the first episode, I think I rated it somewhere between like a 2 and a 4, maybe, I think.
Oh yeah, a 3? Yes.
Yeah. It was low on the out of 10 scale, and then it went up in the second episode, and I was like 6.5, and now for the third episode, it definitely varies scene per scene. I would say that one is more of like a flat 6.5, but at moments it's more of a 5. So I was gonna rate it like just 6.
Yeah,
so it's a solid 6.
It's a solid 6 hair this episode.
Just,
he does go like a little crazy with his hair.
Because there are moments where it's like, oh, get it away, and then there are moments where it's like, okay.
But for you, I think you should classify that like Ragnarok hair as your peak hair.
Oh, Ragnarok hair is peak. I don't.
Yeah.
Ragnarok Loki is peak.
Good point. Yes. Okay. So a lot of people were out there. Shout out to my good friend, Mousing. I'm saying it completely wrong. Izzy in the chat. She found the translation for the song that is actually sung by Loki by Tom. That is actually him singing it. It's going to come out on the soundtrack, which is so cool. I'm going to make this big. But in Storm Black Mountains, I wander alone over the glacier. I make my way in to the apple garden. Stands a maiden fair and sings, "When will you come home?" Oh my God, this song. But come and yeah, the waterfalls stop and she sings, "When will you come home? When you will come home," or "Come home." Okay. This song is about a lament. It is a lament that you grieve and you're missing somebody and you want them to come home. And he's singing it to Sylvie, and then he dedicates the song to Sylvie. And there's this moment where he's like dancing, and then he does this. It's kind of like he does kind of this, but he kind of does this, and he's so cute.
I think it's more like a than a.
Yeah, no, but he's like. He's doing a bunch of stuff, and then at one moment he does this, and I was like, "Oh my God, he's doing the meme." Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I found the Lamentis, but he's singing it to Sylvie, and Sylvie reacts in like such an odd and specific way. It's really fascinating. He also has changed out of his guard outfit. He
got drunk, man.
He's been drinking, and that opens him up to his emotions, and that he's willing to actually share how he truly feels about love. Interesting. Also, because he had opened himself up, it means he got caught too by people who are suspect of him. Okay, love is a dagger.
So, What really annoys me in this scene is that Sylvie doesn't understand the metaphor, which it's actually a really good metaphor for their branding of love, and especially Sylvie's branding of love, because like love is like a dagger in it's reliable, it's useful, it's easy to use. You can lean on it, you can use it in desperate situations, but it's also painful and sharp and cruel. It hurts. It's a knife in your back. And and it's imaginary in the sense that for them, they don't really, like, they haven't had, like, super great, like, experiences with love, and their, like, love has either been, like, faulty, or it wasn't, like, genuine, or it wasn't the right person. There's, like, their experiences with love have not been great. So it being, like, an imaginary dagger is a really, really good metaphor, and Sylvie, why?
Why didn't you understand what he was trying to tell you? I think that also it's like it's not real until you have somebody to give it to, maybe.
He's so drunk.
Is really, really cool.
He's so drunk.
But I mean, daggers are metaphors for, you know, penises and like very physical expressions of love, and Shakespeare, which it calls to, has used a lot of like sheathing dagger metaphors in his work. So the dagger to me is quite interesting.
You ruined my rant.
I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna leave.
No, stay. But like they get caught and they have this amazing fight. I didn't really talk about it, but I really liked it. There's a few interesting things. So he tries to use his magic in a particular way to stop them from losing this fight, which is, it seems like Sylvie wants to have had him caught, right? Because she points out that the guy's leaving, and he's like, hey, you know, I'm going to use my magic. And it's fireworks again. And he tries to throw the dagger at the guy and misses. And neither of those two things feel like Loki would happen to Loki. And so this is leaning into this is all in his mind. And Sylvie is co-piloting what is happening. Right? So that's, to me, what happens. And then they fall off the train.
There was the minute where he did the fireworks, and it really felt like he was just so drunk that he couldn't, like, conjure, like, tickets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, maybe, but, like, also, I don't know.
Sus.
Yeah, it's sus, yeah. He danced so cute. That whole scene was amazing. But the tempad breaks. It breaks.
Oh, I forgot on my note.
Oh, no.
Loki loves his mom. Oh, he baby.
Fair point. Good point. High five for mom love. You're just gonna leave me hanging?
Just double checking.
Okay.
I have yet to say
high fives for mom
I
love.
liked this episode.
High five for mom love.
Poggers episode. I liked it.
Woo! Yes. Mom success. Yeah, it absolutely felt like they were falling on purpose, or like there wasn't really like there's so many of these weird kind of moments throughout the whole thing that as I point them out, you're like, wait a second. The tempad breaks, which breaks in like the weirdest way. Like it just basically like disintegrates. It's first
Humidity,
broken, and then it kind of disintegrates. Yeah.
Thanos snap.
But let's talk about how enchantment works. So she needs the physical contact. She has to grab hold of their mind. With stronger minds, I'm in control, but they're there too. Wait a second. It's almost like Sylvie has constructed this world where Loki can be kind of like a hero or the center of the storyline, unlike what was pointed out in the first episode where he's not the center of the storyline. He is the person supporting the heroes getting what they want or getting where they need to go. And it's almost like this is being constructed in his mind. And if it is or if it isn't, it's still kind of doing the same thing, which is awesome. You want more tea? Okay. This tea, very successful. We're almost out too. But either way, this is like, okay, so maybe the enchantment is what's happening here. And also revealed in their conversations and trying to figure out what they're going to do is the TVA uses variants as she's talking about C20. And, okay, I'm going to let you finish your sugar dump into your tea, and then you can tell me all about more rants about the TVA.
TVA sauce.
Okay, so the TVA themselves, C20, she pulled a memory from C20's past, which was hundreds of years in the past. The time works differently in the TVA. I have no problem with that statement. It's really interesting. Now, all I want is a, TVA rebellion against the timekeepers. They're evil.
Evil boardroom of directors. Woo!
Exactly. And how are you feeling about it?
So, with the TVA, there's a ton of, we've already discussed how in the first episode they were a little sus, and then they got even more sus, and now I'm just like,
yeah,
I don't think that their business ethics are appropriate. Someone needs to call whoever you call for bad businesses and get their forking permit removed. Remove their permit.
The universe binding thing that runs the universe is gonna have their permit removed. Maybe that's how the multiverse starts. They a bylaw officer scooches up in their little van and is like, "Here, you've broken bylaws of the universe."
Because the timekeepers, they are very questionable in their morals because they are kidnapping variants and then just going, here, work for us, we're gonna remove your memories, and I have a little thing.
Okay.
TVA, is it ethical for you to force variants to work for you against their will?
No.
Probably not. It probably just means that you're doing glorified time slavery.
Yeah. It's interesting because I don't know. I just want a TVA rebellion now. That's all.
Fanfiction.
That's where I'm at. So they arrive at the end city with the Ark, the thing that's going to allow them to escape the planet, and it feels so much like Sakaar.
Mom, the TVA reminds me of
yeah?
Of what are they called now? In Star Wars?
Oh, like the Empire or the First Order?
Well, they changed their name.
The First Order.
It's like I'm not even with it anymore. The First Order.
Yeah, or the Empire.
Or
yeah.
The Empire, because old-fashioned Empire with all of the
Stormtroopers?
The Stormtroopers, and they have numbers as their names.
Yes,
and
exactly.
They have that professional
and
business
I always wanted a Stormtrooper rebellion, and maybe we'll get that with the TVA. That would give me so much love and joy in this world. Thank you. This looked so much like Thor Ragnarok. Sakaar specifically, the style, the design. There is so much going on. I love it so much.
Wait, Mom.
But
did someone just mention Solo in the chat?
Yeah, somebody mentioned Solo in the chat.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, like L337, their rebellion. Yes.
Thank you.
But okay, so why have this planet at least stylistically look like Sakaar, which this Loki has never been to, but maybe a Loki that Sylvie knew had in some sort of variant timeline.
It's the parallel that you're being trapped there. And
yes.
Forced to fight for your life.
Yes.
Might also be culture transfer.
Loki catches a building. I have no problem with this. There was an entire rant about how he stole a time stone or something by somebody on the internet. I don't care. He has telekinesis. He can move things with his mind. I assume that's what happened, unless this is all just inside of his mind and he's more heroic than he thought, and he's going along with it. Interesting. And then we come to the end, which, like, unexpected cliffhanger ending, unless this is all just in his mind and Sylvie is playing out
And
the
Sylvie has just
fantasy.
stolen his tempad and is asking him to leave.
Yes, unless this was all just in Sylvie's mind. She knew how this timeline ended, how this apocalypse happened. She played it out for him exactly how it was going to happen. So
We never know.
What do you think? Do you think it's in his minds, or do you think it is real?
I don't know. I think it might be both. Because it's real if it's in your mind.
It's real if it's in your mind. You're right. You're right. So the things that he took away from this. The things that he took away from this was the self-exploration into what he is missing, or the wounds that he has still to heal, to do with love and trust, loving himself and
loving the people around you
and trusting others, right? And that is quite common from Agents of Asgard as a story element and a theme, which is what they're pulling from heavily, it seems like. But wow, this episode was stellar. Hey? Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for coming out for the deep dive. We had a lot of fun talking through this whole thing. We're looking forward to next week's episode. And exploring more into Loki and having more tea to go along with it. So
I wonder which tea I'm going to pick next time.
If you want to follow me on Twitter.
I hope we get more Mobius.
I hope we get more Mobius, because he wasn't in this episode at all, right?
I'm okay with that. We just got, like, we need to step back and let him go on a jet ski, then we'll come back.
Okay, yes. But, Sylvie can totally make him experience a jet ski situation, so I know. It can happen. It can happen.
Mobius, Sylvie, Loki team up.
Exactly. Time-tripping British scamps, Doctor Who inspired. I'm pretty sure it was. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at Marie C. Gould, or you can follow the show at WForce Media or WT Force Media.
And as always, tell my mom how much you think I'm awesome, or you can say it right now, because I'm awesome.
Oh, it's true. You are very awesome. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to keep up with all of the episodes that we are doing for Loki, and
get more of me, because I'm awesome.
Our plan is to do more Marvel shows, of course, so this will be great. So
maybe I'll help you with Miss Marvel.
Oh, maybe. That would be really cool.
I actually do want.
That'd be fun. Yeah. All right. Take care, everyone. Have yourself a good rest of the week, and get yourself some tea and a cookie and a good evening. Cheers.